Another day, another recording, another chapter. I'll be for the JavaScript for Kids for Dummies book. I'll be doing chapter 16. Right, be choose your own adventure. Imagine you're climbing the tree. If you climb up one branch, you see certain things such as a bird's nest or a balloon that got stuck up there during your birthday party. If you climb a different branch, you might see other things like the neighbor's garage. JavaScript technique of using if-else switch statements to choose between two or more paths called branching. This chapter you use branching to write or choose your own adventure game that asks for user input at key moments to change the story. Right, so obviously you want your website, you want your web browser to look like this. That's what you want to look like. So you're the captain of a spaceship named the Flying Hippo. One day you're working on tuning up your ship's engine. So that's the story, right? So plan the story. Any good story needs a plot. The plot is the outline of events that happen. It's called the story. Writing a story where the user input influences the plot. The writer needs to pay close attention to managing the different plot lines. Each plot line has the same beginning, but the middle and ending are different based on input from the user, so creating a flow chart. So obviously I'm not gonna do that, but obviously you need to so it begins right start. You ask go to Mars, do you go? No. They right this then obviously if you say no that's the end, or if you say yes there's trouble, keep going. No, you go home. Yes you made it, okay. Write the story. Our story takes place on a spaceship in the not too distant future. You're the captain of the ship and your mission is to fly to Mars to pick up an old robot that stopped functioning so that it and its valuable experiments can be returned to Earth and studied. The launch of the ship goes perfectly, but one day, week, my George, by my English, but it's in one week into the 26-day voyage, discover that your cat has stowed away on your ship unless something changes. You might not have good enough food for the both of you. You need to decide whether to turn your ship around or keep going for Mars hope for the best. So you got that. The launch of the ship goes perfectly, but one week right into the voyage, you discover your cat is stowed away on the ship. There's some change. You might not have enough food for the both of you. You need to decide whether to turn your ship around or keep hope for Mars hope for the best. If you turn the ship around, the mission ends, the cat being turned to Earth. Possibly angry at you because you don't have the Mars robot. If you continue towards Mars, you get very nervous about your situation. But if you feed the cat half your meals each day because you're a good person, you reach Mars and discover that the last person visit the Mars robot left a large cooler full of delicious sandwiches. Packed them into the spaceship along with the robot and head home. We are greeted as a hero. So obviously it's suggesting you use J's Fiddle, but we're not gonna use that. We're gonna be doing chapter 18. Right? No, not chapter 8, chapter 16, sorry. So VS Studios, Index, HTML, JS, and CSS. Okay. For the HTML, right? It's gonna be div IDs is story. Right, then a site footer, question, then enter your answer, text your answer, but submit go. Right. So basically that's what it is. So obviously for HTML, you know what you do. Right, so shift exclamation mark, right? Enter, then it's gonna show you that, right? So that's what you do within the body of that. You can do h1, right? Heading 1, h1, open, closing tags, lunch game. Then identification instructions. Get a weekly allowance of money to buy lunch. Sandwiches are usually between this and that, but you never know the price until you get there. Your paragraph, your div elements, right? So div is basically it represent can be used with the class lang title attributes to mark up semantics come into a group of consecutive elements, right? So the div is basically div basically is for these elements, right? Paragraphs, identification, so ID, right? Basically split everything up into different identification forms so that when you work on one thing as instructions, basically you don't change what you have in order form, but you can individually change them based on the data that has been classified under your identification. So it's instructions in order form. How many sandwiches do you want per day? BR, input type, numbers, ID, number of sandwiches, label, button type, ID, place order. So this is the opening and closing tags, right, for your button. So it's input, label, BR, right, and then your label, the identification receipt, right, the script source. Obviously, you can source everything from main script, right? That then yeah, that's what you're gonna be doing. Then after that, you can go to your CSS pane. You can make sure your body is font family, sans serif, background, pink, padding 6px, margin 6px, width 5%, margin 20px, background color, padding. That's what you're gonna be doing. So this is your CSS. Right? It's gonna look like that, right? Right. So basically, yeah, that's what you're dealing with here. So so basically identification story, side for the question, answer, text your answer button, submit, story part answer, story part answer 2, story part error 0, story part answer 11. Right, great choice. Mars is lovely this time of year, or during the time of the year when you arrive. So basically, this is what you're going to be inserting. A story set for the question, answer, your answer button. Everything under here is hidden using CSS and displayed later using JavaScript. Okay, so we put class ID answer 01, right, and then class story part answer 2, answer yes when you're ready. So basically that's what I'm doing, and then CSS, margins, UPX, HTML, body, font family, Arial, sans serif, height 100%, overflow hidden, width 100%, color yellow, height 80%, background color black, flow Y, scroll, side for the story, after position, bottom height, padding with background color. So basically, this is all. CSS is basically everything It's basically the thing that you need to make your website look beautiful or your web browser look beautiful. Stuff that you insert into your JavaScript look beautiful, right? Okay, it's gonna look like this. So this is the continued version of your HTML, then your JavaScript, right? In your JavaScript, you're going to have different variables, right? Different variables to do, right? What you need to do, listen for clicks, call the functions as the first question, ask question, get answer, function, continue story, function, continue story, the end, right? Right, variable element, my element, document, get element by ID. So that's what you're gonna be doing. Submit and this now. So that's so your JavaScript, that's your JavaScript, right? Your variables, then your event listener, right? Then your switch case, right? Switch case, right? So question number, that. So obviously, you want to have your variables, right? Your stories, your variable stories, right? Document. Obviously, you're associating the document from the HTML, so get element by ID and story. So you got your different ID elements from HTML, right? Story, get element by ID, site footer, get element by ID question, answer, same thing. So you have your event list and your comments, right? You got your comments up there, then your event listener. As your event listener, submit, click. So your event listener needs to be clicked. Then after that, you get your answer. Then you submit, right? Click, get your answer. So the word submit would be displayed. Then the event list will be clicked. Then you get your answer, ask question. Call the function to ask the first question. So the zero with the constant here. So the zero means that there are no specific values that need to be added or keyed in. Right, so ask questions based on the number passed to it. Answer style display equals block. Answer length. Question number. Switch case, right? Question number. So your switch case. Are you ready to play case 2? So obviously this is not numerical. So you're gonna count it up from 0. So are you ready to play? Case, so in case 1, go to Mars, stay at home. Case 2, risk it or go home. That's case 2, right? But theoretically speaking, it's case 3, but for the purpose of VS Studio's JavaScript, it's going to be case 2. In the function, clean input, get the answer, clean input your answer dot value to uppercase answers, push clean input your answer value, answer length, a function, continue story, answer number, switch case if you are on the right path, all done. Story HTML document get element ID. You're on par, keep trying. Basically, you're out if else or else if. So basically, you got switch case, or you switch right. Function continues to you switch, then you if answer If you're getting it right, so you're on the right path, well done. But else if would be you are not on par, keep trying, right? Then your else, right? The input you put it is not incomprehensive, is not comprehensive, so there's an error. So else if you're wrong, if you didn't get the first time, if you if you if your boolean doesn't read as true, right? If your boolean isn't true, right? It's gonna go to the else if. So your if, right? If your if isn't true, obviously you got the yes or no as a boolean, right? That's your equation, right? So that's basically what you're working with. So if your if isn't correct, go to else. But if your value isn't comprehending or comprehensive at all, you got your else. It's just your else, right? The break case one, if goes to Mars, else if stay home, right? So go to Mars and needs a strict equal has to be equal to go to Mars or stay home or error one if you don't get either of those. If answers two, risk it, right? Go home or error two. By default the story is over. Then here's your function key, right? So it's your function key. Let's play this game.